Okay, this is 3.1 of geometry. So parallel lines are coplanar, which remember means that they share a plane. So lines that are on the same plane that do not intersect. We use the symbol, we use this symbol with the two lines to say that they're parallel to. So in this top guy, AE is parallel to BF. So in our picture, AE is parallel to BF. They're on the same plane, right? They're on the front side of this cube, and they don't ever intersect. Skew lines are non-coplanar, which means they are not on the same plane, and they are not parallel and do not intersect. So AB and CG are skew. They're not on the same plane and they don't intersect. And they're not parallel. Parallel planes are planes that do not intersect. So the plane ABCD, this top guy, and plane EFGH, the bottom guy, are parallel planes. Okay, problem number 1. Let's just work on the got it problem. Which segments are parallel to AD? So AD is right there. So here, we'll mark it in a color. How about AD is in red. Okay, so EH is parallel and BC is parallel. And FG is also parallel, because we could take that plane that's diagonally along here, right? And they'd be on the same plane and never intersect. Okay, explain why FE and CD are not skew. Well, we could, just like this last FG guy, we could take the plane that goes along there, right? And they'd be on the same plane and they'd be parallel lines. So that's why that won't work. C, what is another pair of parallel planes? So in our example up here, they say that ABCD, the top guy, and plane DCG, okay, ABCD and EFGH, so the top and the bottom. And they also looked at DCG, so the right side, and ABF, the left side. So we could say plane ADH, the front plane, this guy, and that back plane are parallel. So parallel to plane BCG. And then what are two segments parallel to plane DCGH? DCGH. Let's write it up here. So AB is parallel. So AB is the top over here, and that's parallel. And also EF is parallel. Okay, a transversal is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at distinct points. So right here is our transversal, crossing these two lines. And transversals form 8 angles if they go straight through. Okay, these 4 guys that I'll circle in green are interior angles. They're inside of our 2 lines, right? Here's our 2 lines. They're in the inside. And these 2 guys, and these 2 guys are exterior angles. They're outside of the lines. We're going to use that in our definitions coming up. Okay, so alternate interior angles are they call them non-adjacent interior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. Basically what I do is I look for So we're talking about interior angles. So we're talking about these 4. And then we choose ones that are on opposite sides of the line. So if I take opposite and like across, like you could draw a line between them. Not next to. So 6 doesn't go with 5. 6 goes with 4. It's in the interior. And they're opposite sides of this transversal here. Same side interior angles are angles that are again on the interior, but this time they're on the same side of that transversal, the line cutting through. Corresponding angles lie on the same side of the transversal and in corresponding positions. So they're going to be on the same side of the transversal, and then see how this guy here, number 2, is like on top of the line, then 6 is on top of the other line, so they go together. And 3 is underneath that line, and 7 is also underneath that line, so they go together. They have them matching up in colors there. And finally, alternate exterior angles. We're talking about the exterior angles. And just like the alternate interior angles, we're talking about angles that are on opposite sides of our transversal. So 1 and 7 go together, and 2 and 8 go together. Okay, let's look at their problem first, which is a pair of alternate interior angles. Okay, here's my transversal and my 2 lines. So interior angles is going to be it's going to include these guys. Those are my interior angles. And then I want alternate interior angles. So I need to choose 1 on one side and 1 on the other side of the transversal. So it's either 7 and 3 or 2 and 6. Let's look at our options. C, 2 and 6. Alrighty, and then they want us to use this picture again, so let me move. What are 3 pairs of corresponding angles? So remember, corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal and are in the same spot. So if I look at this side of the transversal, 5 is to the right of the line and 7 is to the right of the line. So angle 5 and angle 7. And then 6 is to the left of the line and 8 is to the left of the line. So angle 6 and angle 8. And then if I look at the other side of the transversal, 4 is on the right of the line and 2 is on the right of the line. So angle 4 and angle 2 is another pair. Okay, now we got a picture of a real sculpture, I believe. Oh yeah, it's the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, Canada. Okay, our Got a Problem wants to know, are angles 1 and 3, angles 1 and angles 3, alternate interior angles, same side interior angles, corresponding angles, or alternate exterior angles? Okay, well, I'll put it here in red as here's my transversal. They are on the same side of the transversal. So it can't be alternate of any sort. If it's same side interior angles, then it's on the inside of both of my lines. Oops, draw that a little better. 3 is in the inside, but 1 is on the outside, so that's not it. So it must be corresponding angles. They're on the same side of the transversal, and 3 is to the left and 1 is to the left. So they are corresponding angles. Okay. Name 1 pair each of the segments, planes, or angles. Lines and planes that appear to be parallel are parallel. So parallel segments. So EH and AD are parallel. Skew segments, let's use EH again. EH and FB are skew segments. They're not on the same plane and they're not parallel, and they won't intersect. 3, parallel planes. Well, plane EFB is parallel to plane HGC. Number 4, now we're switching to this angle picture. Alternate interior angles. So interior angles, I'm looking at these 4 guys. And alternate, they need to be on opposite sides. So 8 and 6 are on opposite sides of that transversal. So angle 8 and angle 6. Move up here for number 5. Same side interior angles. So I'm talking about interior angles again. This time I want them on the same side of the transversal. So 2 and 6 would work. Number 6, corresponding angles. So they need to be on the same side of the transversal. Oops, covered that up. And they need to be in the same position. So number 1 is to the right, or kind of to the top of the angle of the line. And 3 is to the top. So I can do angle 1 and angle 3. And we'll put 7 down here. Alternate exterior angles. So I'm looking at the exterior angles, these guys, and I want them on opposite sides. So 5 and 7 would work. And here's your homework. In number 17 through 20, you just need to give the angles. It gives a few more directions. Just give what angles it works for.